Hey everybody, how y'all doing? This is another Good Brothers Community Podcast, Sunday edition, right here at Churchill Smoke Shop on the Hill. And again, as always, I got my right hand man, my partner in crime, Mr. P. Powell to the third power, Mr. Preston Powell the third. My guy, how you doing?
Man, it's good. It's good. It's good. Another weekend on the hill. This is All-Star weekend. First weekend in the XFL. Decided we'll chop it up a little bit. Today's smoke
Oh yeah,
is Insidious by Silent.
LFD, Double Ladero.
You smoking good today.
Yeah,
We're yelling for a touchdown here. So,
XFL.
speaking of the XFL, I know one thing we want to talk about. The XFL first weekend. So, what do you think of the quality of the football so far?
Um, they got some talent, man. They got some talent. The talent is there. They got good coaches. I'm seeing a lot of former NFL players who are coaching, and there might be another um, outlet for guys who played in the league who want to coach or think about coaching to get in the profession and get in the profession the right way.
Right.
So yeah, I'm enjoying it so far.
Yeah, it is. It's quality football. And then, we talked earlier, you just mentioned a minute ago about their solid deal with the NFL, which put the
Right,
whole league on good standing as far as
right,
we could expect it to have some level of longevity. One thing we had talked about is that, these guys are actually gonna make a little money. I mean, they're paid
right,
for scale.
exactly.
If you don't
Hmm.
know, just to let you know, they get $5,000 per game. Winning team get an extra thousand, so you got a potential 6,000 a game. You make the playoffs, it's 10,000 per game. Win the playoff game, it's another 10,000. So you got a chance
Right,
to make some money, over this time. And then the key thing with that partnership is that at the end of the XFL season, all players are released to be able to try out and try to get on the NFL roster. I think that's
right.
like I told you, we saw earlier. I didn't realize how much practice players made. I
I'm
thought it
almost
was
almost
like
250.
it's 250. I'm like, whoa, shit, you get on the practice squad, you good, you
Right,
good. Yeah, so you get a good shot at this, and they want this to be a legit feeder system to the NFL, and I think
right.
they got something cooking with this.
I agree. I think it's a great opportunity, especially for those who still aspire, who still feel they got the will, the want to, and
Right.
determination to play the
Mhm.
game. And also outside of XFL, they bringing the arena football back.
Right.
So again, different outlets to for those who had that dream to get to the big dance.
And the quality of the football so far has been pretty good. Just looking at
Right,
it now, the quality of football has been pretty good. I mean, Paxton Lynch, former first round pick, didn't show up, but hey, it looks
right,
pretty good out there. I mean, they're not doing
exactly.
anything crazy.
Hmm.
And that's anything. You'll see a lot of these guys make the league. Remember, what's the guy, the kick returner for Dallas? He
Oh,
was, yeah,
man,
he
yeah,
didn't,
you
he
know,
had a
NBA
couple.
return so bad.
Yeah, he had a couple of good returns this year, so he played pretty well. So, you're gonna find some players, and you can see some of these guys are pretty good. You're gonna
Right.
find some players in this league. And like I said, we expect to see them stick around. We got the late night game coming on later tonight, so hopefully we get to see a little bit more of that. Now you mentioned the Arena Football League is coming back. Is
Right.
it coming back full throttle, or is it gonna scale it back some?
From what I'm understanding, probably is going to deal with some of the teams in the major markets first. I think like Atlanta, Houston, Dallas, uh, Birmingham, New Orleans, and Memphis, and places like that, and get back to then get full scale up when everything get back to the tip. So yeah, arena football is coming back.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be one in my home, New Orleans. They supposed to have a team, if I'm not mistaken. So
Yeah,
that'll
because
be
the
pretty
old
good.
team was the New Orleans Voodoo.
Yeah, the voodoo. Yeah,
Hmm.
I like their gear too. That voodoo gear was hot.
I had a jersey.
Right, right, right. Look, the other thing we want to touch on the main subject today. You were talking about the city of Jackson here now compared to city of Jackson in the past.
Right.
Elaborate what you want to hit on that.
Well, a lot of the kids unfortunately want to experience Jackson the way I experienced it.
Uh-huh.
When the Metro Center was wide open, you had putt golf. You had uh, some of the major restaurant chains.
Right.
Man, youth sports was mad in Jackson. Like from Levelwoods to Forest Hill. Man, shout out to Grove Park. I played baseball there. And shout out to the West Capitol Street Boys Club. Because
Right.
that's where I got my start. Bam, Charles Tolliver, Charles Nunn, Milton, Sesha, all y'all. Thank you. Y'all made me.
I actually did a few speaking engagements at that Jackson, that Boys and Girls Club. So I know exactly what you're talking about.
Right.
As it come up there, and it's done a great job. In fact, I used to do lots of people at Grove Park as well. So
Oh
I'm very
wow.
familiar with those areas that
Right.
I've done mentorships and things like that from. So that was a pretty good. I know from my time when I first came here in college to what being in Jackson down, you see a stark difference. I know we talked about last week episode the CCID and how
Right.
the state is taking over, carved out a piece, whether that's
Right.
constitutional or not, which I firmly believe that's unconstitutional, and I think
Right.
it can easily be challenged in court. But what I found surprising is that they haven't challenged it. So I'm just like, you can challenge this in court, and you should be able to give you make some headway on fighting against that. But you know, at this point, I don't know what the stance the city is taking other than to get on TV and talk against it.
What I'm understanding, there is going to be a fight. It's going to be a long
I
fight.
mean, this is making a
Um,
legal fight. You're not going to fight them in the media. Just make
yeah,
a
right.
legal
But that's
fight.
what I'm
You're going
saying.
to win.
It's going to be a long legal fight, and the Fed's
Mhm.
supposed to be involved. For what I'm understanding.
Okay, well, yeah, that'll be good. Good to get that taken care of because that is beyond unconstitutional.
It's a slap in the face.
Yeah,
It's no travesty. It's a slap in the face.
right, right. So I
But I
mean,
mean, it goes. I mean, it goes back. It reminds me of we had people like Waller and Ross Barnett,
right, right. Yeah,
who
that's
people don't know was a racist, by the way. Once when they reservoir is named for him. You
right,
gotta know
right,
that.
right. The start races from whatever
Oh
round.
yeah.
And then he was the one that came in during the Mega Evans trial and like shook the dude's hand.
That's something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, shook Beckler's hand during the trial, trying to get the jury to wink, wink.
Brian Della Beckwith.
Yeah, so yeah, that's crazy. But speaking of which, I had a thought. What do you think about CCTV? We were talking about Errol Kamara up here a little while ago. That how all that got caught on camera that fight, and that brought
Right.
up a conversation. Somebody mentioned, man, they should get cameras here in Jackson. What's your take on that?
Well, you talk about privacy issues now, but at this point, something got to shake. You know,
Well, you
because it's
talking about on
crazy.
public streets and public areas, peering at the streets, not like in the
I
homes and stuff like
understand.
that.
That's why I said at this day and time in our city, it's like Gotham City without Batman. You know what I'm saying? The back sitting on the jacks don't even work.
Right, right.
So we need to do something. And I mean, and it's drastic. And drastic time sometimes calls for drastic measures. So we gotta do something. I'm down with it.
Yeah.
It's cool. Thing about it is that you gotta do what you're supposed to do when you're supposed to do it. Right is right and wrong is wrong.
Well, man, as we talked about with the CCID, Capitol Police taking over a certain segment of the city of Jackson, and everybody knows the Capitol Police have a low tolerance level for BS. So,
Oh yeah.
I had a police chief in here this morning. He said one thing about the Capitol Police, they have a zero tolerance for BS. They won't, if they see it, they're gonna deal with it right there on the spot, and Johnny come quickly. So it's something interesting to see. I'm just interested to see the politics of it all because I don't think Jackson has a hard fix. You got some areas around the country that have their issues. That the fixes are very nuanced and it's a lot going on. But
Wow.
oh, Jackson's not that. Jackson's not a hard.
Nah.
It's not going to be a big deal to fix what's
Wow.
in Jackson. I mean, it's not a yeoman's job. To fix
Wow.
It's not a big road to hoe. It's just a matter of people sitting down and doing what needs to be done, taking care of what needs to be taken care of. Because there's no reason to have some of the issues that we have in Jackson, none whatsoever.
Yeah, but again, you look at the state legislature funding when it comes to the city of Jackson. Almost every bill has been rejected by the state's legislature. So how do we supposed to thrive when you sit here to move out of Jackson? You took the tax base with you, and you leave Jackson without a tax base. So now we got to find a way to recreate that tax base with people we have here,
Yeah.
and that comes with financial literacy.
Well, and I'm gonna tell you, but I'll tell you something else. One thing I do believe is that if you know the legislature is not going to help like you need to be helped,
Right,
the moment Biden took swearing in the office, you had a Democratic Senate, a Democratic Congress. It is
right,
no way you shouldn't have an infrastructure bill, crime assistance bill. That should have been on his desk.
right,
Get the assistance from the feds. Jackson don't have to go through the state. Jackson get money straight from the feds. Now it's easier than me saying that like that, but because there's a lot of work to be involved in that. But
right,
that work should be been done already.
right,
Those things should be put in place already. That's just
right,
me being in politics for over 25 years. Those things I understand that and I can see some things that I know like oh you should have been doing this a while ago. I don't hear about it, and I'm sure if I don't hear about it, not saying that I'm the end all to be all, but I should catch wind of when you're making certain strides for natural for certain kinds of assistance. It's
right,
not impossible to get. That's what I
right.
think one of the failings that I see is that we can talk about assistance. It's going out there and getting it done. You gotta get people who gonna
Uh,
get on that grind and get it done. And that's what I see that happen.
yeah, and, and there's also prime time to recreate Fair Street. What I mean by recreate Fair Street, reinvest in communities, small business development, economic redevelopment in our communities. And again, show them, hey, we can be resilient, we can be resourceful, you know, and making a situation where the state will want to help Jackson because why? It's gonna be saving face. But
Well, I'll tell
it
you,
is what it is.
the biggest thing we need to do is get deliberate with our dollars. Know where you spend your money at. That's the
Hmm.
biggest thing. A lot of people they don't pay attention where they spend their money. That's one thing I'm big on. I know where I spend my money.
Me too.
When I go somewhere, I shop deliberately. If I can't get it from where I need to get it from, I just don't need it. It's just no. You got to be deliberate with your dollars. You can't
Right,
spend money with people who don't support you. And I
right,
constantly see people complain about an issue, but constantly spending money where it's not going to help your issue. And that I just find that don't make any sense to me. It never will make any sense to me.
oh yeah, I'm with
Yeah, I mean, Queen of the Hill back in place this Sunday.
you. Queen of the Hill, there she go.
Not gonna make my cameo in and out, in and out.
But yeah, there's a lot of things going on that we know better, and we know
Right.
that they're not hard fixes. I did see an interesting poll the other day that even in the governor's race, everything's shrunk and tight for a
Oh
Democrat.
yeah.
So
Oh yeah. What's up?
let's
What?
see, yeah. So it's gonna be interesting to see this next political season. I just implore people, that old saying, "You get what you pay for."
Right.
Let's start asking for what we pay for.
Exactly.
Let's just start asking for what we pay for, and that way, we can actually see the change we all talk about. We want to see.
If y'all don't know it, y'all need to see it for herself. The Queen of the Hill, she fine. She fine as hell.
Should
I'm
know
getting.
that.
I know.
Maybe
Hey,
not Max.
Yeah, she better
she
max
fine,
out on it.
y'all. She fine, y'all.
Now I'm about to run out. I love
Hey,
that.
go out the door and let that sunlight hit you.
Ooh.
And you know that like good right.
Yeah, yeah.
That's that creek light. You get to see all the creepy shit.
Oh man, that's funny. That's funny. But yeah, man. I mean, I'm interested to see this fight because I want to see where everybody stands. You know, we talk about a lot of things. I want to see some, instead of the platitudes and all the internet words and the internet speeches you see on Facebook, let's see some rubber to the road. Because at some point, Jackson is one of the most black cities in the country. At some point, we're gonna have to see people who put, you know, their words to their actions. Now, well, no, I shouldn't say it like that because a lot of people they do work toward their actions, but I mean some accomplishments.
Yeah.
You know,
That comes with consistency.
I've been saying this since I've been in this city. I do not understand how the city of Jackson and Jackson State University are not married at the hip.
I don't either.
I don't understand.
I don't either. That's a great point, Preston. I don't understand it. You made an even greater point. Why are the roads so bad to lead to the urban university?
Here's the deal. You got the USC Medical Center, and you got Jackson State University, two largest institutions in the city. You should be married to both of them. You have the medical corridor should be coordinated with the city of Jackson.
Right.
Jackson State University coordinated with the city of Jackson. These are
Right.
these are your foundation, your anchors.
Right.
Support them. There shouldn't be a bad road going to either one of them.
I agree.
You know, so it just these are things like that that affect the quality of life, which would improve the quality of life of the city immensely. Those partnerships.
Right.
You're talking about, one thing that's unique about this area, in this, what you talking about, the tri-county area, Jackson, Rankin, Madison, Hines, Rankin, and Madison, who are you looking at? Maybe like 350,000 people, somewhere around there. UMC, Jackson State, Belhaven, Millsaps, Tougaloo, Holmes, Mississippi College,
Hines,
Rankin, and Raymond.
Right.
That's like
and
10,
Jackson.
Hines
and Jackson.
And Jackson. That's like 10 universities. 10 upper level learning, in this smaller area. So that's telling you that. So in the fall, you're talking about an influx of a whole bunch of people into the city.
Right.
I mean, it's not rocket science. It's doable.
Right.
It's very doable. Security, that is. So that seemed to be the issue of the day, is the economics of security. I mean, look, I'm from New Orleans, so when people talk about crime and stuff like that, I'm like, it's not that bad, Jackson. I think, but to me, I say, man, y'all overblowing this stuff.
Right.
But to somebody in Jackson who, they never experienced that level before, they're not overblown. Because people are saying when somebody gets killed in Jackson, which is a tragedy in itself, what 95% of murders are solved within a week?
A week or two?
Yeah, because they all domestic,
Right.
So it's just, most majority of these interactions are personal, domestic. There's, some relationship there. You don't have random acts, in Jackson. Now,
right.
the thing, I think the thing that really gets under people's cars is the robberies.
Right.
That's the random thing that, that people, can't
right.
when they can't get a grasp of, because Jackson didn't have that in the past.
Right.
That's one of the things about growing, just as the city grows and different people come influx into the city. That's one of the what you have to do.
But that's what I was talking about from earlier. Like when I was smaller, man, WJMI, DJ Finesse, and everybody fun the Sunday at the Couch Street Boys Club. You had the block parties. I mean, whether it's off of Bailey Avenue at the park over there, whether it was at Grove Park, Battlefield was one of the biggest parks and best parks in the metro area. You had Lake Hyco. You can see people cruising on Sundays. You see the families and kids playing in the yard, barbecuing, and you go to 12 Goal over the north end, or you go to the Dish and you see people barbecuing, playing basketball. They just play sandlot baseball.
Yeah.
Who does that anymore?
Yeah.
You see people playing kickball. Kids playing kickball, barbecuing. Softball, Saturday, Sunday, Friday night, Thursday, Wednesday. So those are things I wish that people could see that I saw through my eyes, especially with the friends I grew up with. A Jackson that thrived, lived. We had Jubilee Jam.
Yeah.
Major concerts came through here every month. Right. I saw LL Cool J right here in Jackson. Run DMC. DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. NWA. MC Ham. Anita Baker. Luther Vandross. Right. The Delphonics. the Shy Lights, all right here in Jackson.
So, what do you think has to happen to get it back to that?
Well, that needs to be like you said before, a mutual understanding of what's for the greater good of all people, of the citizens of Jackson, and get on one accord and move Jackson forward in a way that is conducive for, again, economic development, and watch this too, reconciliation between its people. That makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah.
And I also, of course, um, showing up our educational infrastructure, because with the tax base, that's how our schools, get funded. So I think though the main thing is that we need to get on one accord with the state, the city, and county level.
So, I'm gonna play devil's advocate here. So, the fight between the state government and the city, how do you address those states when you're fighting the state with, by taking over the water system, taking over security in the city, in certain areas of the city, that is. How
You
can
gotta
you
get out and
incorporate?
vote. You gotta get out and vote. You got to find some folks. I don't care if you're Republican, Democrat, identify as Democrat. Find some folks who truly identify with the idea that all are created equal,
Yeah.
and who have a sincere interest in seeing the state in different counties and different cities, especially the capital, move forward and grow.
Me from the time I've been here, what is the historic background of the state just not want to, it's easy just to say the racism part. This Jackson is one of the blackest cities in the nation, and we have one of the whitest legislatures in the nation.
Right.
So that combination, do you think that's the bottom line of why we don't get the support from the state?
Yes, with also the personal interests and political agendas of these individuals who so-called run the state of Mississippi, who's in the state legislature.
Mhm. Yeah,
Because it's all about me and mine. As long as me and mine is not affected, it doesn't matter. And that's got to change. It's got to stop.
right. But the money flows to Jackson. So
Yeah,
at
but
some point,
do we control it though?
yeah, that's true. I mean, you control the city coffers, but like city of Jackson has the largest budget in the state. Uh, you know,
Okay. For instance, Jackson Public School was the largest school district in the state of Mississippi for years. Now it's in South Haven
right.
or Hernando or DeSoto County.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, we're not the biggest. And then now you're looking at the influx
Uh huh.
of what Madison and how Madison is growing now.
Yeah, it's
Before
huge.
too long, they're gonna end up building another high school. Watch, and I guarantee you, outside of Germantown, that's gonna be another high school, because if Ridge don't split, Gluckstadt gonna split.
So for those who don't know, Gluckstadt is Madison County. It's north of Ridgeland, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so make
It's
sure
north of Madison.
North of Madison. Sorry, north of Madison. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that'd be interesting. When they put another high school out there, people gonna run to it. So it was new. They expect it to be, better. So yeah, instead of investing money in the system that's right. So I really didn't realize JPS. I always thought JPS was still the largest school district in the state.
No, because what happened was with the advent, especially when it comes to extracurricular activities, a lot of the private schools in the MAIS, they have lured a lot of children, especially children of color, to their schools, whether it be Jackson Academy, Jackson Prep, even though it's still in Jackson, but it's not Jackson Public Schools. Out here in Rankin County, like Hartfield Academy, you got kids going to St. Andrews, St. Joe. You got kids going to Tri-County Academy, which is above Flora, which is in Flora. You got them going to Clinton, and then Pearl. Now we're talking about still public schools now. So there's an issue and a problem with it. So that's the reason being. You go, I'm saying, you can't even don't even talk about the coast, because I've seen their work, and kudos to them, because they've always been top tier when it comes to education, especially educational engagement. So you know, with our problems that we have in the city, again, we got to find a way to find some type of mutual ground, solid ground that we can firmly plant our feet and build again.
Yeah, because that does have a huge effect on your tax base. Growing up in New Orleans, our private schools played with the public schools. They all in the same, same pot, so to speak. They're not segregated. They say, well, here, because I know JA and Jackson Prep. Uh, shoot, I mean, what they black enrollment maybe like 10%, 5%, if that much.
Yeah, but the majority of them are athletes
Yeah,
who go to those schools. They're athletes.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And again, you look at what's happening. Right around Glustadt, we're close to Ken, with Nissan being there, especially with the economic impacts that the governor is pursuing. That 22 corridor is a major manufacturing corridor.
Speaking of the governor, what do you thought about when he said Jackson was the murder capital of the world? He said the world or the country. What did he say? I can't remember what he said.
He said the world.
The world. That's that no way.
Hey, man, Governor Reeves at best is remedial.
Yeah, that was.
He might have an IEP. You need to review it.
Yeah, that was good.
But he feels like what he's saying nothing wrong. Even though it was his office said he misspoke. But do you think he really cared? He don't.
Well, I mean, people will believe that too. That Jackson, that is nowhere
And that's
near
my
that.
point.
Yeah, it's not that. It's not that. Not that at all. It's not. No, not at all. I mean,
Right.
that is a misstatement, a moment statement.
Well, again, we got to get out and vote. To all our listeners and subscribers, first of all, we thank you. But get out and vote and vote for some folks who has Mississippi's best interest at heart and watching us grow, move, and live better. Because I don't know about y'all, I'm tired of people talking about my state and my city.
But we constantly doing stuff in this state that make national news, make it look like we backwoods. So,
And that's what's sad.
yeah, that is crazy.
And those people don't care.
No.
It's all about self-preservation and ego.
Yeah, that is. But that's interesting, man. But as we wind down, another All-Star weekend here, NBA All-Star game come on tonight. Get out, enjoy it. Enjoy the festivities. My man Matt McCullough won the dunk contest.
Shout out Big Mac.
First white boy to water won it, huh?
Right.
That's good, man. Congratulations to Matt McCullough winning the dunk contest. The All-Star game this weekend and tonight, 6 p.m. If you free and available, come out and enjoy it. The Queen of the Hill is here, and it's Sunday fun day as we always do here at Churchill. We have a little food on Sundays and cocktails and hang out and have a quick smoke and enjoy the weekend.
Oh yeah. So again, everybody, thank you for subscribing. Remember, please share it, like, and subscribe. As always, if you want to come on, let us know. Inbox us, DM us. We'll be more than glad to have you on and have good conversations right here on the Good Buzz Community Podcast at Churchill Smoke Shop. The Queen of the Hill is waiting on you with her fine self. She's fine, y'all.
Hey, Lord, I head up. Good deal, man. To everybody else, peace.
Later.